Good afternoon, everyone, evening, morning, whenever you're finding this. Timeless reading. This is Gypsy Jess with your Art of Tarot, and today I have a pick-a-pile for you. I've gotten a brand new deck, which I'm very excited about, the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit. And I was shuffling and I started to come out with air signs, so we're going to do an air pick-a-pile. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to be an air sign, but if you are an air sign or your person is an air sign, this might call to you a little bit more. So go ahead and take a few minutes, take a nice big deep breath, and exhale your day. And allow yourself to be open. And start to focus on the energies of the piles. Which one immediately calls to you? Is there one that calls to you second? Or perhaps you're drawn to all of them. In whatever order you are drawn to them, that is the order of the priority of the messages that are intended for you. For each of these readings, I'm going to pull other oracle and tarot cards to deepen the message. And during that time, I want you to allow yourself to be open to any signs, synchronicities, other animals, songs, names that might come through to help you connect with that message as your own. Remember, this is collective, so there may be bits and pieces that don't fit. If it doesn't fit, don't take it. And last reminder, whatever happens during the reading, whether it's on my end or your end, is part of the message. So stay open to spirit and its way of talking to you. All right? I'll see you in a minute. Hello, pile one. You have chosen the Vulture. So right away, we have someone a bit misunderstood, right? The Vulture is a very misunderstood creature. You know, not necessarily your normal attractive kind of bird on the outside, but one that is important to the environment in the fact that it's about purification. The way it cleans up its environment, and whether that be roadkill or dying animals, you know, things that are perishing. Why does that sound so weird? But overall, a very misunderstood bird. So whether you're conventionally attractive on the outside or not, I would say overall the energy of the person I'm speaking to is going to be in need of, or purification is very important, depending on if you're in balance or out of balance watching this reading. Okay? Let's get some archetype cards, and then we'll start to pull some tarot. So what do we have? Goddess. Light attribute, the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. Beautiful card. Beautiful card. Addict. The light attribute helps you recognize and confront an addictive behavior. Awesome. These are beautiful cards right away. And with the purple and the Vulture, this particular card, I also get someone who's very intuitive, very connected to spirit. And perhaps that's why you're misunderstood, right? Gambler, light attribute, willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. What did I just say? Someone who's deeply intuitive. All right, now let's move on to our tarot. We are going to start with another new deck of mine, the Phantom Wise Tarot. What I love about this one, and it's very playful, gives me a very playful energy. But as we can see, we're already speaking to someone who isn't exactly black and white, okay? And that's a beautiful thing. For the beauty sometimes lies a little bit deeper. And someone who's aware of the aspects of self, right, that are helpful. So someone who's mindful of their addictive nature, someone who's mindful of, you know, their own gifts, someone who is deeply connected to their feminine. And someone who may, because of that openness and that connection, may need to sage. But right now, showing up in a very balanced light. So let's see what else comes up. Let's see what comes up for you. 10 of Cups, beautiful. Going to be our divine feminine side. Now remember this reading for you and whomever your person is, the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. High Priestess, okay. I'm already getting a sense of someone who is feeling a little turned upside down by love. 8 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups, yeah. Someone who's turned upside down by a soulmate or a perceived soulmate. King of Pentacles. Ooh. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. The 4 of Swords. Someone who's struggling to rest in this information. The Fool, ready for a fresh start. Now don't be afraid if there's reversals popping up. What that means is that, actually, for our masculine, we're gonna use our sacred web. Not so much that that's a bad thing, right? It just means that sometimes aspects are blocked or we're in the shadow aspect of that particular card, the energy that card holds. So, Sea of Water. Feathers or wands, however you want to see it with this deck. Oh, what is the name of this one in this deck? I have to look this one up. This is the Sacred Web Tarot. It's a beautiful tarot. The art is very non-traditional, so it'd be a little harder to remember the names. But I love this balance. We've got crows, lots of birds here, lots of rabbits here. We have lots and lots of air. We've got a crane. We've got a mama bird and her babies. We've got owls and crows. Got a little meerkat. And over here we have cats and rabbits. The Magician in this deck, Spider. Seer of Earth, all right. And then we are gonna go with the tradition. Oh my goodness. We might have a bit of a mess here, a bit of a mess situation. Traditional tarot down the center to see how they're connected. Swords in reverse. King of Wands in reverse. Devil in reverse. Okay. Now, I feel like I should say right off the bat that, especially with this being the vulture, remember masculine and feminine sides can be reversed. So you may resonate more with the masculine side, you may resonate with more of the feminine side, regardless of what you are in body. But relationships are always reflections of us. Anger. Forgiveness. So whatever's showing up in them is also showing up in you, and vice versa. All right. So as I said before, on the feminine aspect, I feel I'm speaking to someone who's had their world turned upside down a bit in terms of a love situation, someone they found to be a soulmate, a deep love relationship. We see that with the Six of Cups there, that childlike, loving energy that makes you want to jump in head first, right? The land of love that makes you want to work and without rest, right? The kind of love that you see no one else. And the kind of love sometimes that makes you even doubt yourself. The masculine in this reading is showing up a bit more unbalanced, a bit more in balance, a lot more in tune with their heart space, but who's also kind of reflecting some of the feminine energy here. I get that this particular situation is one that was originally based in passion and maybe some very codependent, obsessive behaviors, but that both people are walking away from this, or walking away from this dynamic, right? If this is someone that you have interest in that you're not with yet, it's because both of you have a particular dynamic, a particular cycle that you're used to, and it's not necessarily a healthy one, but one that you're coming out of, one that you're learning to navigate, and quite beautifully, because while we do have the High Priestess here in reverse, right, which would kind of show us an imbalance or a misuse of intuitive gifts, the archetypes, the stronger energies that are present is goddess energy. It's awareness of this addictive, codependent, needy kind of tendencies in oneself, and learning to trust that you know what you know and how to move forward and get past this, and doing the work to do so. So kudos to you, feminine. Because this is what's going to make a new start in love available to you. Something with equal give and take. And that's what you're looking for, not what you've had. Our masculine here, who I definitely feel there's probably a lot of anger towards. There's water under the bridge with this relationship and with this dynamic here. And perhaps one or both of you was misunderstood, right? Maybe what this relationship was intended to be was misunderstood, right? Someone's intentions or feelings, but it was definitely something based in passion and addiction more than in love, even though, especially on the feminine side, we have a lot of love. On the masculine side here, I see someone who found this feminine extremely triggering. And I get the sense that this is in relation to a mother wound, right? and some suppressed anger around the mother. And this in particular definitely knocked this masculine out of balance. And the way that he perceived you, and I say you, feminine, as the person watching this, but reverse roles as needed, saw the feminine through a distorted perception. And therefore didn't necessarily show up in the best way right away. I do see this masculine now being in a place of a grounded independence, but one who is or was kind of looking at different options, who feels more stable alone than in the dynamic of a relationship. And this doesn't necessarily have to pertain to a love relationship. However, I do think that's how the feminine saw it or sees it. But both people, there's definitely separation here. Both people have walked away from this. But this goddess, this mother wound, this feminine nature, this sexual force was a catalyst here. This is what connected these two people. But these root issues with the masculine especially were huge, huge triggers. Mad as hell, mad as hell. And that can be one or both of you. Angry as a hornet, you know? But that's when it comes to soulmate dynamics, relationships that are brought into our lives for a lesson, that's what these are for, about. It's so that they can trigger us into growth, into evolution. And this is definitely what this feminine has done for this masculine. And through so, is bringing this masculine into a greater realm of balance and a greater connection to the whole. But that's what sacred femininity with the goddess, what an awakened woman will do for an awakened man, masculine. Awakened feminine energy will do for a sleeping divine masculine, is they're going to trigger them to wake up and grow, and vice versa. I do see the feminine wanting a fresh start in love, but feeling that this pathway is blocked, right? Needing to do some healing. Meanwhile, the masculine has become far more grounded. But this feminine trigger, this trigger is definitely is big to drawing attention to the ego, right? Like I said, this root issue, this feminine wound brought up a lot of triggers for this masculine, and I do think it is strongly related to motherhood, to parenthood. That while this particular masculine may have struggled to discern this in the past, he's seeing it more clearly now. And that's where we see this forgiveness card coming up, kind of forgiving ourselves and others for how we've shown up, whether we've shown up in anger that we didn't fully understand, or forgiveness about the perceptions that we've projected onto others. And this goes both ways, right? Because the King of Wands in reverse, the Devil in reverse, this connects both of you. You both were showing up in distorted energy, and distorted sexual energy, to be, pretty clear on that. But I do think both have become aware of this, and are feeling a sense of wanting to forgive themselves and others. And I think for whatever reason, this was intended for this masculine to wake up. Wake up and have more discerning eyes on how they show up in the world, how they're connected to Mother Earth, to Gaia, and how they they create their own reality, a very powerful creator of that reality. But someone who's still, like I said, I'm getting choices, right? And this can be gifts, it can be pathways, it can be, you know, other romantic entities. But let's get a little bit more clarification here, a little bit more information going forward. What do we need to know about this situation going forward, Spirit? All right, new pathway, a new pathway being laid out. Choices. Choice of heart and intuition. New investments. And Page of Pentacles. So this is really clarifying for me in that on the feminine side we have the King of Pentacles in reverse, and I do feel like before this particular feminine felt very strongly that this masculine was, you know, spouse material, was stability material. But this experience is just now triggering the growth and the integration, the beginning of that king, that strong spouse, that new innocent transformation before becoming the stag, right? This one's still just a little deer in headlights when it comes to relationships. And that's where I think the masculine is showing up misunderstood, right? You know, if we're shut off to ourselves emotionally within love, that does cause a lot of anger, you know, for those little boys who are never allowed to feel their feelings. As I said, that little ladybug just flew by. But who now is seeing the way forward, is who's wanting to show up in a different way, and we see the birth of a new divine masculine, a little doe there. We have our stag, who eventually would be ready to invest, but not right now. This masculine is going through transformation, and this feminine is knows her pathway forward and knows where to invest. Where this masculine has a lot of learning before being able to understand how to really ground himself in a relationship. And I do get love, you know, while these things can be friendship, family related, I do think this particular reading is in relation to love. Let's get some oracle cards here, and then I'm gonna get some message cards, because I do love when those clarify things. Whoa. The Pharaoh. And there it is, the divine masculine. And 5, showing up as change. This is spiritual evolution of the divine masculine triggered by the divine feminine here. But it's going to be, I think, in the feminine's heart and in her spirit, in her intuitive spirit, she knows that at least right now, this particular masculine is not for her. Dream. Dream a little dream of me. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. I do think this particular feminine does have an air of romance about her. We have the other 5 here, so we have 5 and 5, change happening on both sides for both feminine and masculine. And even our Pharaoh here shows up with that bird-like face, the messenger of spirit. And our cat here, the guardians of the underworld in Egyptian lore. We have one growing and one dreaming, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they're just not quite in the same place. Right? And that's perhaps where we need to also have some forgiveness of the situation and our perception of it. Right? not everything is intended for us, at least in the way that we sometimes dream it to be, right? It can be intended for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. It can be intended for a lesson or a blessing, you know? Nature. Mother Earth showing up again. Connection to Mother Earth. Right now, I think these two people need a little space for loving forgiveness, right? For loving forgiveness. Let's get some White Rose Guidance message cards for our feminine and masculine here. We're going to start with the feminine, things that she may want to say or feel in this particular situation. It's like we share the same mind and heart. And perhaps that's what you saw, what you felt. It's like we're star-crossed lovers. Will we ever make it work? There is still so much love here on the feminine side. I am drawn to your deep intelligence and wisdom. Remember that which we see in others is also in ourselves. I know that you know I'm hiding deep feelings for you, and now I feel stuck. And we see that definitely on the feminine side with that 10 of Cups, the 6 of Cups in reverse, feeling like this person like is our full happiness, right? And this can be how the masculine feels about the feminine as well. I mean, it's sitting on the feminine side, but I really do feel like the feminine is the one carrying, or at least aware of and understanding of their emotions. And what does the masculine have to say here? My love for you is without bound, infinite. And there we see a lot of green, the earth coming through. I'm battling my demons right now. That is not surprising. And those wounds can come up and really, can really distort how we see others and ourselves, and a worthiness of, you know, someone showing up. I know you are my other half. So, love on both sides. And with Seer of Water here, you know, in this balance, this may have taken some separation on both sides for the masculine to really understand their feelings regarding the divine feminine here. But that still has some work to do on their own, right? I miss you more than you know. I told you I felt some separation here, and now with this kind of, the river runs through it, I'm getting that this is a shared love, you know, true love kind of situation. But that, you know, they're just not showing up on the same vibration. So back to our Vulture card, this is a misunderstood experience, probably on both sides. So if you're wondering if this masculine cares how they feel about you, there is love here. There is a lot of love here. But this person has to show up for themselves right now. And sometimes when we love someone enough, when we truly love someone, we're willing to let them go. If that's without bound, that's without bonds, you know? So, kind of a beautiful message there. I hope this is helpful. Let's get some twin flame activation cards. Please let me know in the comments. Practice self-love, nurture your inner child. 10-10, closing out cycles of love here. And that little Fool, that fresh start in love, kind of showing up for the feminine there. I do think that part of this wounding, this feminine wounding, is a bit reflective in the feminine with that Devil and the King of Wands. You know, when it's that root chakra kind of injuries coming up, that's generally related to sexual trauma, to childhood trauma. So right now, rather than be anyone or seeking to be with anyone, It's time to practice self-love, my beautiful feminine. It's time to love yourself and nurture that inner child. Dream and play. Spend time in nature. What about our masculine here? The chosen one, fast track to ascension. And we do see a lot of that cosmic energy, that magician energy showing up here. A powerful manifester. This feminine put this masculine on the right track, but that's what happens in these sort of dynamics, is that a feminine will trigger, the divine feminine will trigger the divine masculine to show up in a way that they have never been called to show up before. Acknowledge, take responsibility. Look at all the ones. Here we go. 1 1 1 1. So we do, this is a bit twin flamey. This I would say this has got a lot of twin flame energy here, or at least that pathway. So is this particular pairing, you know, completely lost? I don't necessarily think so, but it's time to acknowledge and take responsibility for which part each of you played in this, because these are never one-sided situations, right? If this particular masculine wasn't showing up, you know, the way you wanted them to, then you have to really take into account, did they show you exactly who they were at that time, what they were ready for, and you painted them a different way? Or were you both showing up in the same way? And then, you know, in true situationship fashion, things develop and grow, and, you know, ultimately people aren't ready for something deeper, right? As we see when we get triggered like that. So I'm gonna close it out there, and I'm gonna get self-love affirmation, one for each side here, as just a little walking away tidbit. Feminine, if I follow my inner wisdom, which she absolutely is, I'm at peace with my own being, loving herself. I completely trust the intelligence within me to guide me to the right path. The universe supports me in every positive way. What a beautiful confirmation to everything that came up for that feminine right there. And I do feel that this feminine really is emanating that particular energy right now. So that's a beautiful thing. For our masculine, I choose a bright future now. It's our manifester. The moment I start to change, the moment I am willing to bring good into my life, the universe responds in kind. The chosen one, fast track to ascension. So this divine masculine is waking up to his powers right now, who knows that he's got infinite opportunities and infinite choices. And is a powerful manifester, but who is battling their demons. And that is a wonderful confirmation as well, to know that this person's working on it, right? And it's important to love someone enough to let them go so that they can work on things the way they need to. All right, Pile 1, I hope this was helpful. Bye-bye. Hello, Pile 2, you have chosen the butterfly. And as we all know, our beautiful butterflies are a symbol of transformation. So this could be a big energy for you, your person, or both of you right now. And you know, there's many phases to that, to the transformation of the caterpillar to the butterfly. You may be at the beginning, the middle, or end, but either way, one or both of you is really embodying that beautiful glow right now. So we are going to start with our feminine here, but first I want to get some other archetype cards so I can see what other energies are at play. As I'm doing that, go ahead, take a nice big deep breath and allow any signs or symbols to come through for you as confirmation that this message is for you. Remember that this reading can be for a love situation, a friend, a father. It can be reversed in the energies, and that when I say masculine or feminine, that does not necessarily mean embody. It just means the energy that is resonating on that side of the spectrum, okay? So let's see, what else is here? Prince, light attribute, romantic charm, potential for power. gossip, awakens consideration for feelings of others, honoring trust. A lot of truth, a lot of blue coming through here already. This could also be people that spend a lot of time in their head. Ooh. Shadow aspect of the shapeshifter. Projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in that moment. And so transformation can kind of showing up in that darker aspect right now of being a shapeshifter. Very interesting that that should come through with the butterfly. Right? We wear many masks. Sometimes we need to, sometimes we don't. But a lot of truth, a lot of air on this one. Spirit, let's see our feminine right now. Oh, Queen of Wands in reverse. So there we go. There's our manipulative magic energy kind of right off the bat. Star. You know, this particular feminine queen coming up with the shapeshifter and shadow is someone who is magic, right? But who is constantly transforming to suit their needs. Okay. King of Cups. Ooh, all right. Swords, choices. So much blue, so much truth. Four of Swords in reverse. I can't get no satisfaction. All right, we have essentially our Ace of Swords and our eagle there, our bald eagle in reverse. So while I said there's a lot of truth coming up, there's a lot of, I don't want to say mistruth, but there is some manipulative energy coming up on the feminine side. Hierophant. Ooh. Oh my goodness. All right. Too many fell out there. Okay. Moon. Things coming to light, being illuminated with the star. Moon and stars. And we have the Nine of Swords in reverse. Definitely a lot of air on this particular side. I mean, all of our readings are going to have some air to them today, but we're going to use the Sacred Web Tarot for the masculine side. You're going to see some repeating decks today if you watch more than one pile. I only have so many. Eight of Feathers. Kind of like that Eight of Wands. Well, not so much Eight of Wands. It's Eight of Swords. So more swords on the table here. What else do we have for our masculine? Oh, look at all the blue here, you guys. Look at all the blue. So much truth coming to light here. So much transformation. Also some throat chakras. So this can be a lot of people not speaking their truth. There we go. We have the moon on the masculine side as well, being illuminated. Interesting. I could look up the name. That's a big card there. A universal air signs. Here, water in reverse. Strength. So our masculine definitely struggling with emotion, and our feminine is struggling with manipulation. Yeah. Way out of balance on the masculine side, but there's a lot of love here. Okay. And down the middle, we have our traditional tarot, seeing as how we're going to connect these guys. How, Spirit, what connects? What's the energy connecting them? Four of Wands. We're twinning. Seeing a full wish fulfillment here. The Hangman, a different perspective. Got two people that are way in their heads about this heartache here. Definitely get the sense of heartache. Definitely get the sense of heartache. We're gonna get a couple of the Oracle. Shamanic Healing Oracle. Oops. Growth. 38. 38 can be an age for one or both of you. Also reduces to 11. Integration, 33. An age for one or both of you. And Ancient Wisdom, 34. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to start with saying that I think the spread is really interesting, and that truth, the throat chakra, is a major theme. And that neither one of the masculine or the feminine are showing up in integrity in their authentic self. But the irony about that is that both of these people are very much aware to the truth of this relationship, right? That this has the potential, or holds the potential to be a wish come true, to be, you know, a divine connection. And I truly feel like in that knowing, this is where a lot of the pain is coming from, because both of these individuals are struggling to gain a perspective, a new perspective, and integrate these feelings, these emotions that I think are keeping probably both of these two up at night. But is an illuminated truth, a very clearly illuminated truth for both of these individuals. Now, whereas I think the feminine is very understanding and aware of the emotions that she holds for the masculine, our masculine is holding on to some heartbreak of the past, right? And there's some forgiveness. Sorry, I'm just kind of hearing messages here. I get that this is what this masculine is struggling with, self-love. That this particular masculine is very strong, is very diligent, hardworking, but who has poured themselves into things they saw as love opportunities in the past and given themselves up, right? And now really struggle to love themselves, right? And to stand independently within themselves and to speak their truth, right? Speak their truth, whether it be heartaches that they may hold on to, self-worth issues, or even a sense of, how do I want to say this? Having a sense of knowing the powerful nature of this relationship and of this particular feminine, and feeling that they can't hold up to it, and perhaps match up to it is the word, or and I get even a sense of stand up to. That I don't think this particular masculine, that while he does feel very strong and a commitment to strength and overcoming any issues. And I think the biggest issue, quote unquote, right now is an integration of past experiences and forgiving oneself. But that fear of moving forward is definitely coming up strong for the masculine. But on the feminine side, I see a strong restlessness, a cage of the mind, a self-made cage of the mind. And this, I think, is due very heavily to the depth and understanding of emotions that she holds for this relationship. You know, a love of self and love of masculine, but who's trying to control the situation, who's trying to control this situation in shape-shifting, you know, being who she thinks this masculine needs, or you know, taking on some sort of manipulative energy to maintain control. And in the essence, this very energy is what's pushing the masculine away. Because this masculine, I do see, is very triggered by that, but feels a sense of, I want to say, powerlessness, despite the recognition on both sides of what this could be, right? So definitely a transformation going amidst of the transformative energy resonating on both sides. But that's because there's an integration of knowledge here. And I think the hardest part of that knowledge is the divine nature of individual self and these two together, right? There is definitely a sense of romance and charm, definitely charm, that's resonating on both sides, a shared understanding of that, a feeling of that. I'm also getting that shapeshifter, I keep saying shapeshifter, I apologize, shapeshifter energy for the masculine as well, because, you know, the masculine is not showing up in their integrity either. So the problem here is that everybody's trying to stay in control, and the feminine energy is very much in that is dominating that, in that she's got a deeper awareness, a deeper spiritual understanding, and is consciously making the choice to do this, I will say. Very aware that she's doing this. And now is becoming ever more trapped. I don't want to say trapped, but feeling separate from the masculine because of these actions, right? Who's working on integrating the truth of this, both of her own behaviors and of his, but who's still showing up pretty heavily in that that shapeshifter energy. And now this could be due to going through a period of transition, right? Figuring out who you are in the next stage of life, or the next stage of where you're at right now. And consciously doing that, right? Which would come with some conscious, quote unquote, manipulation of energy per se. But the masculine, well, I think is also aware of this. Definitely not feeling, I would say, as strong as the feminine. Feeling strength in overcoming these, yes, and diligently working to move forward towards a comfortable form of independence, but who's really feeling disempowered emotionally. Very disempowered emotionally. Whereas our feminine is feeling very empowered emotionally. Let's see what else we can get here. Let's get some more. Let's get some more. Ooh, oh my goodness. Spirit, there's some energies here. Magician. So, 2 creators. New start. Rest. Something both the feminine and masculine are needing to create something new and move Leo energy as well. So like I said, well, this masculine is showing up, you know, feeling disempowered in his emotions. He is overcoming. So here we see the lion, and we have the strength card in this particular deck, and a bit of a husky howling at the moon. But really what this says to me is there is a growing sense of strength for the masculine right now, who's needing to move forward and take action. And I do think there is some of that going on here, but definitely an unsure of themselves kind of movement forward. So while the masculine needs to move, our feminine needs to rest. Our feminine needs to stop taking so much action and trying to control the outcome of this situation here. Because like I said, both people are trying to manage control. They're trying to create an outcome. And this is causing a major imbalance between the two, a very push-pull energy, the way I see it. 44, family. And then we have balance. So I do think there's a sense, a feeling of spirit of soul family between these two. Otherwise they wouldn't be seeing this powerful connection as possible. And like I said, I do think that's the illuminated truth for both of these individuals, is who they could be together. Not only who they could be together, but who they are individually. And where the feminine is far more comfortable in that divine power and that knowing, our masculine is really struggling to integrate that and grow and move forward into that that more divine strength versus a sort of 3D grueling crawl up the mountain. You know, I feel like that's something our masculine's probably used to, a little bit more used to. But both people here are integrating a sort of spiritual knowledge and ancient wisdom. Here we have truth. Truth is the mark of pile 2 here. Truth and transformation. So trust that each person knows what's best for them, and stop trying to manage the other person here, because I do think that's a bit of an issue. Okay. We're going to get out some of the white rose message cards so we can see messages coming through for both masculine and feminine energies. We're going to start with our feminine, things that she might want to say to the masculine or haven't been able to, or just a confirmation that this is, you know, your pile. So let's see here. What does our feminine need to say to our masculine in this particular situation? I've never cared so deeply for someone before. I mean, we've got our King of Cups there, and that's a very intense truth to try and manage, to try to understand, to want to pour into everything, and to be lit up by someone. And of course, you know, that's a scary idea to come to terms with, because then we have to come to terms with losing it, and this is where we start to show up in more of a distorted fashion, right? How can we manage it? But that's a place of fear. You are my favorite work of art. That's a beautiful thought. Maybe you're an artist, masculine. Maybe the feminine is an artist of some sort. An appreciation. Where do we go from here? Like I said, I definitely feel it's like a stalemate, especially with that that hangman hanging out there, feeling blocked, is a stalemate energy, push-pull, right? So you're kind of stuck in the middle. That butterfly trying to get its wings out. I want to follow you through all time and universes. So our feminine showing up with those really strong emotions that we saw right off the bat, that King of Cups showing very strong awareness Now, where is our masculine at for emotions? What does he have to say here? Ooh. I feel so much joy with you. It's like I'm a kid again. And that could be quite triggering, right? That sort of puppy love. You are worth fighting for. And it does appear that this masculine is working to get fired up with that Leo, that lion, that sun. You turn loose heaven within me. And not knowing how to deal with it. I know the fire that burns in you is the same that burns in me. So again, confirmation of a clear recognition of love between the two people here. Yeah. So let's get some twin flame activation guidance, some shared energy, feminine energy. Please let me know if this reading resonates for you. Intense change, false twin flame. Oof. Oof, 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 oof. All right. So I will let you take that message as you will. But as I said, we had some twin flame energy coming across. This particular card for me is very twinny. Perhaps one or both of you is on this journey. Perhaps one or both of you is a false twin flame, or perhaps one or both of you is getting over the energy of this in the past. Divine feminine. Yeah, I mean, she knows her spiritual power here. This is very, very clear with the Hierophant, the Star, and our Queen of Wands. Her use of that divine feminine knowledge is what we need to start to integrate that shadow aspect for our feminine. Soul merger, ebb and flow. So, like I said, the masculine is really struggling to integrate emotions. And while there's an awareness, a knowledge, and a strength to work and move forward, it's definitely an expansion and contraction kind of energy. Right? Do no harm. That's what I heard. Do no harm. So let's get, okay, I heard one more. So let's get one more. Closing twin flame activation card. Divine order, practice patience. So I was putting the deck away and this was sitting on the bottom. And then I went to put it away and I was like, oh, I feel like I need that one. And then of course, divine order, practice patience. So for both of you, practice patience with yourself. But if this is divine feminine watching this, I really do feel this message is strongly for the feminine, and that transformation takes time, right? The phoenix doesn't rise from the ashes overnight, okay? I mean, maybe it does, but there's some spiritual awakening happening here. And rather than trying to manage every outcome by wearing different faces, and the same goes to the masculine here, who's struggling to show up in integrity and speak their truth, right? To integrate the truth of their emotions and their spiritual knowing. And this could even be that the understanding that, you know, this particular relationship, while there is love here, perhaps isn't, you know, the twin flame relationship that they thought, and still can be a wish fulfillment with that knowledge, right? Perhaps. But there are some individual truths that are happening here, and in divine timing, in divine order. So it's time for one or both of you to really practice patience. So before we close out, let's get some self-love guidance here. Something, a little piece of takeaway for both of you. And remember, when I say both of you, even if that person's not watching or never sees this, relationships are a reflection. So their piece may be also, oops, I got a leftover card from my last reading in there. their peace may be for you as well. As I learn to love myself, I become powerful. I do not need to wait until I become perfect before I love myself. Loving myself is the quickest way to create a wonderful life. That is real power, right? Rather than shape shift and try to be everything to everyone or what you think someone wants, being exactly who you are and loving yourself as you are is the most powerful energy to resonate in, and that is the truth. And yes, we always have things we're going to work on loving about ourselves, but accepting what we deem as flaws, and loving them with a compassionate heart as well, you know, that's what makes us powerful, because then no one has the power to trigger us in other ways. You know, stick the finger in the wound and really, woo, sorry, I'm losing my hands here. I want this one, I feel it, I can feel it. My past is part of the richness and fullness of life. I get that. There's forgiveness needing to happen here for past choices or for the way someone's shown up. Without my past mistakes and all, I would not be here today. I love myself for my willingness to learn and grow, right? So know that the masculine is working towards this and give them the loving space to do so, right? Stand in that energy, that divine feminine energy, that divine knowing. All right, my loves. I hope this was helpful for you. Bye-bye. Hello, pile 3. You have chosen the bat. So, much like pile 1, I think that the energy behind the bat can be a bit misunderstood. I personally love bats. I know a lot of people have fear of them, but to me, I think they're quite adorable. They're very, very important to the environment. The brown bat, the little brown bat, which is all over North America. Very, very cute, very, very sweet, pretty harmless, but super important for maintaining pest control. You can see them kind of coming out at dusk, so perhaps you are an individual that is inclined to be a bit of a night owl. Right? I've got the moon, the illuminated moon. I also get the sense that I'm speaking to someone who's spiritually illuminated, someone who resonates with the lower chakras. I'm getting very much a King and Queen of Wands energy behind this. We've got a lot of sensual power. You know, we have root, sacral chakra, mainly root and sacral chakra, so quote unquote kind of lower energies, but also like sensuality, creativity. I'm getting a very, I want to say sexually powerful, but just creatively powerful, illuminated being behind this this particular card. So let's go ahead and get started. But while I'm shuffling, while I'm getting ready, I want you to go ahead and take a nice big deep breath for me. And give yourself permission to be open to signs, synchronicities, things that come through during the reading on my end and on your own side of things, right? Remember that whenever you're finding this reading, it is for you. These readings are timeless. Also keep in mind that these are general collective readings. So, ooh, poet flipping over right away. I was going for the archetype cards. Light attribute expresses soul insights in symbolic language. Perhaps I'm talking to an artist. We have the dove coming through and more red. So again, a creative energy coming out here. A lot of creative power right off the bat. Maybe lyrically, poetic. You may express that in art. Ooh, 2. Okay, all right. I guess the cards are speaking for me right away. So the archetype cards, just so you understand, these are active energies, and this is a you and your person reading. So remember that this energy is also active in your other as well, whether that is a love family, friend interest that is coming across in this reading. Exorcist, light attribute, freeing yourself and others from destructive impulses. Getting a shaman. So like I said before, the King and Queen of Wands, someone's very spiritually illuminated, coming through quite strongly. The Mystic, of course, revels in intimate union with the divine, light attribute. So beautiful energies coming through for our bat right away. Love this energy right off the bat. But beautiful energies. But I was just saying, allow any other sign synchronicities to come through for you during this reading. Understand I say his and hers, divine feminine, divine masculine, but that doesn't necessarily mean that those energies relate to in body, right? So please don't be offended and flop the energies as you see fit, which resonates with you. Queen of Cups. I'm getting a lot. I know this is more for Pisces, but I'm getting a lot of Scorpio. You may be a Scorpio. The person that you're dealing with may be a Scorpio. The Queen of Cups is traditionally a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio card. But remember that the feminine is going to be on this side, the masculine is going to be on this side. I'm getting a very sexy energy. A lot of, ooh, we had two that flipped out there. The Star in reverse. Death in reverse. Ooh, a lot wanting to talk here. Spirit coming through strongly for our bat. Pile of 3. The Empress, yeah. Beautiful goddess loving mother archetype here. Creative energy. The Rose. Right, the Rose. 5 of Wands in reverse. Ooh. 3 of Swords in reverse. Death of heartache, coming out of heartache. Someone, yeah, this is definitely someone who's gone through some betrayal. 4 of Wands. What a beautiful energy coming out for this feminine, this pile right away. I do get the sense this may, I'm already getting a lot of similar energies from pile 2. So if you were drawn to that pile at all, there may be some messages in there for you as well. But this one seems a more evolved version. The Tower in reverse. I have to say this, so Judgment, I'm seeing this at the bottom, and I do get a witch hunt kind of energy too, so I'm not sure if that is something that relates to you at all, or if you align with that. But the masculine, I'm going to use the Tarot of the Nile. Tower again in reverse. Okay, so we have mirroring happening right off the bat. I feel inclined to say for this pile that this can also relate to the masculine energies within us. Remember, right? So this is a you and your person, but sometimes this can also be about our own energies. But remember, the Tower is related to things outside of us, outside of our control. These are divine intervention. These are also just universal energies. These are things that we have no power over, that come and, you know, move us, shake us down. I'm going to take this right side up. Sometimes to move us along when we are not moving ourselves along. You've got betrayal on the side. Perhaps I'm speaking to a feminine scorned. Oh, and we've got third party energies. Knight of Swords. Ten of Cups in reverse. Whew. Fool, bottom of the deck in reverse. I'm getting some interesting feelings from this, but I do see some outside forces. So now we're going to go down the middle with what's connecting these two groups. And then we're going to pull some Shamanic Healing Oracle for just some deeper understanding. Eight of Wands, communication, fast communication. So I definitely feel that this pile is related to, or that there are additional messages in pile 2. So if you haven't, after watching this, if you haven't already watched pile 2, go back to that and watch that one if and when you have time, because there can be some additional things for you. And there he is, King of Wands. I told you, I felt that right away. Right away. So one or both of you can be showing, oh, well, both of you are showing up in this energy. So I did feel that with the bat, and as soon as that poet popped up. So creative, but also, you know, passionate energy coming across in pile 3. So now we're gonna get some shamanic healing, shamanic oracle cards. I'm gonna get 3, and then we're gonna go into this truth, the eagle. So I was just outside prior to this reading. I took a break in between pile 2 and pile 3, and had my pup outside. And I was having a bit of my own epiphany, and then a hawk flew right overhead, very, very close to, and I saw the eagle in my mind's eye. So the messages that are about to come through here may just be a confirmation of something that you already know. That's what these are always intended for. Yes, I have messages that come through, but they're intended to just go and confirm what's already in your knowing. Movement into balance, 44 home, feathers. A lot of birds and air signs coming across for this one. All right, so now we have a beautiful spread. Let's go ahead and get started, pile 3. So I'm gonna start with the feminine here, who is radiating in such beautiful, strong, loving, creative goddess energy. Just someone who is balanced in her emotions, who is in touch with her emotions, and who has this great sense of victory and wish fulfillment about her. Someone who is evolved both in the earthly realm, in the emotional realm, and in the, well, in all the realms really, when she's resonating as this Empress. Someone who has gone through a transformational period and who has come out of a broken heart, who's recently come out of a very wounded warrior battle. I'm getting recently out of an ego death, a period of even a dark night of the soul, and who's now radiating powerfully in that. I say dark night, I say that after realizing, oh, it's the bat who's coming out illuminated, right? Illumination, the light in the dark. I see that again with the moon here. And I think that's why that comes so strongly for me, for the feminine on this side. And who is now coming out feeling strong and passionate and full of action, right? Full of action. Sorry, I just have to adjust a little bit so I can connect a little bit better with the energies on the table. So much power coming across on this feminine side. So much evolution and a sense and feeling of victory coming out of a dark night of the soul. So no matter what, this feminine is really radiating such a beautiful and powerful energy. So kudos to you, feminine, for whatever you've been through and overcome with this tower, because we're definitely coming out of it. And as I switch over to the masculine side, no matter what, if there's a masculine in your life or not, I do think that this particular pile is resonating or has messages in terms of your own balancing of the masculine and feminine energies within you. For whatever reason, that's coming through very strongly to me for this pile. On the masculine side, I see someone who has either this particular relationship has caused a tower moment, or both of these individuals have gone through a similar tower moment, right? But the problem with this is I do think there's a third-party energy here, whether you're aware of this, and I think you are with this Three of Swords. I think that there is a separation that has happened between the masculine and feminine energies, either within, right, or without, right? This relationship is a manifestation of that inner energy, because the masculine is still coming up here with someone who was acting in perhaps a sneaky kind of manner, a kind of a playboy kind of manner. There was a lack of truth that has come through very, very quickly, and an understanding that the feminine is well aware of. And if this is not manifested in the 3D, this is something that you are already intuitively aware of, and just take this as a confirmation. But there was some third-party influence in this relationship, whether this is relationship with self or relationship with other. And it was intended to bring you both home to yourself. But I do think that there is a separation between masculine and feminine here due to outer third-party energy, and that's now culminated in a lack of action on the masculine side. While feeling passionate for his feminine is in the space of inaction, who is perfectly happy, happy to sit there in their own independence. And I think who in the past or currently has failed to make a choice between two people. Someone who is probably resonating this era of having their cake and eating it too, because the King of Swords, this is an action integrity kind of card, and this person wasn't acting. They weren't taking action in their truth. And I do think there was then a loss, and a loss of a soulmate, a loss of happiness. And this could even have been a relationship prior to the feminine coming into this masculine's life. Or perhaps this is the energy, and this is very different in that the other piles, that I feel this is a lot of inner feelings for this feminine as well. And perhaps I'm speaking to a feminine who went through a sort of a split, right, within their feminine masculine self, who had a third-party situation, or perhaps was participating knowingly or unknowingly in a third-party situation that really brought a lot of heartache, and that ultimately brought a death to both this relationship and that particular self that the feminine was resonating with at that time. This ego death, that self has died here. And now, and for, I would say, somewhat for this masculine as well. And this was a truth that was intended to bring both of you home to yourselves and move both of you into balance. But there's still some truth left to be understood, figured out, and perhaps this is the confirmation that this reading is intended for. But I get that this particular masculine was struggling to choose. And there was an external, whether this was a work situation or another person, I don't know, but someone who definitely wanted to have their cake and eat it too, right? And now who's feeling a very, very much a loss of happiness and of a loving soulmate relationship. But don't forget that this soulmate card too can pertain to a child, a dream, right? A childhood dream, It doesn't necessarily have to relate to another person, right? So let me know in the comments if that resonates for you. But now the masculine is, well, both the masculine and feminine are feeling very independent. There's an independence, a split on both of these sides, but some communication that's wanting to come through. I do believe that both of these individuals are feeling a sense of passion still resonating between the two. But now there's an action card showing up here. Some fast action, some fast communication, a fast truth that needs to come through, but is not happening. See, we have our bald eagle, our eagle or hawk coming through, and both of these cards, one in the upright, one in the reverse. So for whatever reason, this is still blocked. Right? This could be because of the ego on the masculine side, or it could be for some external force. So allow whatever messages that come through moving forward in this reading to help be a confirmation for what you already know to be the truth in your particular situation. All right, pile 3. So on that note, let's get some more cards here. I actually want to take actually, before we pull some more tarot, we're going to pull some oracle and some white rose guidance cards so I can get some other energies coming at play here. What are the truths? What are the underlying energies for this particular pile? But just so if I'm speaking to the divine feminine here, just know you are an absolute glow up, beautiful goddess energy right now, and happiness and victory are at your absolute disposal, right? And it is a beautiful energy, right? You've done a lot of work here. Transformation, transform that death. That's absolutely. So while I was recording there, I realized that I ran out of space. So I'm gonna try to back up a little bit and reiterate the gems that had been coming out, but I was quite on fire there. And then the video ended. So I'm gonna conclude that was definitely part of this reading, is that maybe there were some truths that were coming out and someone didn't want to hear them, right? And maybe that's one or both of you, but and that's why we're now in this separation period. But I was right on that transformation card, at least that's where I noticed I ended. And that eagle in the background was coming again with confirmation. So we've had the eagle before my reading here on the truth card, and now on the transformation card. And 21, this reduces to 3. This is Empress energy. So divine feminine, this is a very clear message from spirit for you. You are the phoenix rising from the flames. You are in this powerful, creative King of Wands energy, and you are in balance with your masculine, feminine, creative energy. You have the gift of sight, of past, present, and future, and you can create all things. You are the master of your fate, okay? And the masculine showing up with this meditate card, right, which is also reducing to 3. And to me, this tells me that not only do you have a telepathic pathway to one another to communicate in dreams, in meditation, and really come to peace and terms with whatever's transpired here, but that the masculine in meditation will be able to balance this feminine energy that I think resonates in him, because this is what can be the most scary about these powerful divine feminines who really radiate spiritual energy, is that they have a light, this illumination that shines through the darkest night within us and within this masculine. And her power is within him as well. But it can be hard to see that, right? Because sometimes that pulls up other wounds. And that deer in headlights, when those illuminations happen, can really make us freeze. And this is the energy that the masculine is really showing up in, is that in this deer in headlights in action, frozen, not willing to make a choice. And whatever choice that was for is, I guess what I see causing the separation here. So just know that all of these things happen and transpire to bring us back home to one another, back home to ourselves, and that, you know, people are in our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. But this was and is a soulmate connection, and soulmates are intended to teach us a lesson, to help us evolve. It is our choice in whether we evolve or we repeat. All right, so hopefully I didn't miss out on some of the things I had said while that video was off, but so many synchronicities here for pile 3, and it really is a beautiful energy. And I would say it's also a beautiful energy on the masculine side as well, because there is growth and forward movement here. All right, remember who you are and how powerful you both are. 46. And I'm going to put that over the King of Wands here, because that's that powerful, magical, creative energy that you're both showing up in. All right. You both are very powerful, beautiful beings. You wouldn't have been attracted to each other if that wasn't the case. You wouldn't have been a vibrational match at one point if that wasn't the case. Also, this is just flying out of me, feathers and birds. These are going to be huge synchronicities for you, pile 3. And again, like I said, pile 2, and possibly even pile 4 with that hawk being part of pile 4, will have messages in there for you. But this is really beautiful, beautiful energy. All right, now we're going to go to the the White Rose Divine Love Messages cards. These are things that perhaps are resonating in your psyche. These are things that the feminine may feel and want to say to the masculine, or the masculine may feel and want to say to the feminine, and just haven't been able to for one reason or another. I fine-tuned music just flipped over. We'll see if it flips over again. I could listen to your voice for days on end. This is the feminine speaking to the masculine right now. I can't bring myself to open up and let you in. And if there's been hurt here, and with that tower, I definitely think there has been some this situation has transformed. That makes a lot of sense, right? There appears to be some water under the bridge here. I love your sense of humor. And our last one, you are always so sweet. All right, and for our masculine divine love messages from White Rose Guidance. She's a beautiful reader. She's very individual reading style, which I love. She's been taking a hiatus on YouTube, but she has a long, I'm entwined in the thought of finding you one day. There is separation here, and perhaps this is even someone that you haven't met yet, which in that case, again, I feel that the need to reiterate for this pile, you know, these are energies within us as well. You cannot wait. You know, an empress doesn't step down from her throne for anyone. She continues on and takes care of her empire. So, you know, if you're waiting for this person to show up, don't, because they're on a path right now, on a beautiful path of independence and balancing the necessary things within themselves to move forward and find you. You are my treasure. I can see eternity into your eyes, in your eyes. Of course, because she's connected to all things. She is the goddess, the mystic, the poet. You are the answer to my whole life. So deep, deep emotions here, and which we do see, right? With all these cups on the masculine side, there's a deep love here for the feminine. But however they've shown up has not been, I would just hurt you more right now. I need to be alone. I do think that is the underlying energy here. This masculine needs to do some growth on their own so that they can be at your level, Empress, right? And you need to continue to move forward and create in this world and allow him the space to catch up, all right? So So let's move on to some wrap up twin flame activation cards. Some final messages to help you. Compassion, higher heart opening. Of course, 1111, very twin flamey card, but having the loving compassion to give each other space to be where they need to be right now. And for these two, this seems to be with some space in between. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna let that one moment there. My little man is barking to get in the room. And I take that as confirmation that this particular masculine will make his way back to you, right? And Bubba's, lay down. Come here. Lay down. I don't know if you're a dog person, but my little guy is right demanding at times. Soulmate, clearing core wounds. Absolutely, absolutely. That soulmate card did come up here, and that's, like I said before, soulmates are here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, but there are contracts, and they are intended to help us move forward in our spiritual evolution. Karmic relationship, releasing the past. And sometimes this is it. You know, our soulmates can be our karmic relationships as well, but they're intended to help us clear karma, right? So I'm going to give you one more, pile 3. And I hope this has been a helpful confirmation to you about what the nature of this relationship is. Honor your agreement, mission, and motion. Okay, well, I've said it and the cards have repeated it. Reason, a season, or a lifetime. Honor your agreement, and this agreement was to help each other clear karma, and this agreement was to help each other grow and move each other forward on your own soul missions. Have some compassion and love for that, because, you know, love doesn't hold on, right? Love does not hold on, but love sets free. Love sets free in us the things that we need to be the best versions of ourselves in the world. And sometimes it lets monsters free too. I'll be the first to admit that. But this is about who we show up in the world as, you know? And that's what connects you guys. Your agreement and your greater love, the compassion that you have for one another. And you can love each other from a distance and honor each other's space. That is a beautiful thing. That's love, you know? Loving someone enough to let them go. All right, little self-love guidance for the feminine before we go. Ooh. I rejoice in my unlimitedness. Yes, you are this powerful creative being. I am aware that I am pure consciousness and I am one with all life. This is why I call it the art of tarot, because everything comes through so clearly, and I love connecting to the message in the cards to where the synchronicities are so perfectly laid out that whoever this message is intended for can't really deny it. I am one with everything on the planet. Beautiful message. Every time I meditate or do a visualization for healing, I am connecting with like-minded people all over the world. So repeating again on the masculine side, a call to meditation. And if you're really wanting to connect with this person, you know, there you go. There's your pathway to doing it. All right, pile 3. I really hope this has been helpful. It's a beautiful reading. Sending all my love. Bye-bye. Hello, pile 4. You have chosen the hawk. And obviously, this is someone who, I get a lot of leadership energy from this. This is, you know, the person who has their eye over everything, who is flying above the rest, who is constantly examining and seeing things from far away and being ahead of the game, right? I also get someone who's very, very confident, right? Who may also resonate in a bit of ego at times, but has a powerful, creative, light energy, and that who really steps up into leadership positions. That's what I'm getting for that hawk right off the bat. Now, for you and your person reading today, feminine on this side, masculine on this side, But remember, those energies are interchangeable. Masculine and feminine, his and hers, that's just related to energy, not necessarily to that person in body. So keep that in mind. Now, with that leadership energy on the board, that confidence, I do get a bit, I'm getting a bit of a proud kind of chest energy to that. So I do sense that this is someone who may be a bit proud, but prideful, even a little bit of a lion, right? Feminine or masculine, doesn't matter. Feeling some Leo energy coming across there. We're also going to get some archetype cards. These are, you know, active energies, big active energies that are also coming across for both peoples. We have the shadow attribute of vampire, depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining, or codependency. These may be some aspects of ego coming across. See what else is active at play here. Ooh, mystic in the reverse. Delusional rapport with the divine. Okay, so we may have someone who's a bit detached from their spiritual self coming through. Companion. Loyalty, tenacity, unselfishness. More of that yellow really coming through. So a good friend, a light person, someone with some great values there, but I do get someone who has a bit of a wounded ego, a separation from spirit kind of coming through. Now remember, you know, if I say some things that are triggering, perhaps that's something that's looking to be examined. So just take it with an open heart. Perhaps that feels like it's for you, perhaps it doesn't. Perhaps it feels like it's for your person, perhaps it doesn't. This is also a general reading, so don't take it if the shoe doesn't fit. But I encourage you to be open and really contemplate on the messages that come through. Nine of Cups in reverse. The Hanged Man in reverse. Page of Swords. Knight of Cups. Ten of Wands. Three of Wands. The Artist. So this is a different card in this particular illuminated tarot, which I absolutely love. I think it's very, very cool. It says a lot about spirit to me. Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands has been coming up a lot today. A lot of heartache in the piles today. Two of Wands. All right, let's put this aside. And we're going to go to the masculine side. Woo! All right. Feeling a bit jumbled here. Ace of Wands. Nine of Wands. A lot of fire. A lot of fire here. A lot of fire, a lot of spirit, which I'm not surprised with that hawk coming through. Judgment in reverse. Oh my goodness. The Chariot. Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands in the exact same spot and position as the feminine. So some mirroring going on here. And remember, relationships are always reflections of us. So whatever's showing up for the, you know, whoever the opposite is for you here, there's some aspects of that that are active within us as well. So always keep that in mind. Queen of Swords in reverse. King of Cups. A lot of love and a lot of fire. Seven of Swords. All right, maybe some messages in pile 3 for you, pile 4. Some of the same cards coming up. Page of Swords. All right, let's go down the middle, traditional tarot, and get some connecting energies here. I just would get on with it. 5 of Pentacles. Someone might be a bit impatient. King of Wands, there it is. Someone who flies in. Definitely watch pile 3, pile 4 for some additional messages. I actually feel like he came up in several of the readings, so there might be another one too. I forget once I start going. 2 of Wands. All right, and before I get into the reading here, I'm going to get a couple from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, just to further my understanding of what's going on here. Honoring your energy. Grounding. A lot of growth, a lot of seeds. Seed, symbol here. Reunion of souls, reunion energy. All right, now let's put this aside and get a bit of a feel here. All right. So with our archetype energies, and just the first ones I'm looking at with the feminine, I'm going to start with the feminine here. And then I feel like someone's struggling with a bit of a codependent behavior. Someone who's kind of led by their emotions, and sometimes not always. You may be hearing my dog huffing and puffing right now, so you may be huffing and puffing at the idea of hearing this right now. But someone who is in kind of a distorted sense of independence, who's struggling to create, and who's feeling very distracted by their love interests or emotions. And while this can, be a sign of, loyalty and I guess tenacity in a relationship, it's also a lack of honoring oneself. Okay, so also, someone who's really taken a beating here and feeling, or had felt a burden, a heavy burden in whatever this particular relationship was. And it really feels like it had been a burden for both individuals in this relationship. And I do sense a very big gap here, a sense of both people feeling out in the cold, and that in letting go of this, really felt a release, or maybe perhaps still struggling to release some of the energy around this, but who's beginning to do so. I do get that whatever happened here, there was a lot of conflict, and on the masculine side especially, some feeling of injustice about how things played out. I will say there is a sense of emotion on both sides. Pardon me, I need to pause for just a moment. My very demanding pup is running out of the room now. Yeah. And perhaps that has something to do with your storyline, kind of an in and out sort of energy here. But where both of you are connected is this King of Wands, and this is a very passionate energy, and there are a lot of wands on the table. I get the air of a situationship, and there's passion and intellect here, but the emotions seem to be very few. And on the feminine side, there is a presence of it, but I do think this, the more of the energy that the feminine is resonating in, is a lack of self-love. And I'm sorry, this is a bit of a trigger warning here, that this is, there's some rough energies here. And if you're asking, about what this is, this is a situation where two people were not necessarily in the best of places, right? There could have been definitely some sharp words exchanged here. I'm definitely seeing that on the masculine side of things, someone who got what they wanted by any means possible, and was very passionately drawn to the feminine, but perhaps by trigger or by a series of events, could have shown up in a very harsh and angry sort of way. And that's because they felt too an injustice on their side had been done. All right. There are the masculine, at least, now feeling like they can move forward, and having a sense of control over their emotions, and who's really, yes, grounding whatever has transpired here and honoring their energy. But this is a call for both of you to be honoring your energy. I get this sense of distraction, very heavy distraction on the feminine side, an inability to move forward and to choose a path away from this, for both individuals. And I'm going to tell you this right now, if you're still in communication with this masculine, there is a clear lack of truth about where they're at and what they want coming across. So you may actually be engaged in a sexual relationship with this person. Like with the hawk coming up, this may be a leader, someone, you both are showing up very sexy and very powerful. But in terms of lasting power here, I see a lot more conflict and a lot more pain than I do of any sort of loving emotion. So sorry to be quite harsh on that, but I do think that pile 4, you're being called to honor your own energy, because it's being taken from both of you, right? But I think surely on the feminine side, this is someone who's detached from their intuitive knowing and not wanting to see the situation for what it is, okay? And masculine showing up in a very, I don't want to say a very low vibe, because we do have the King of Cups upright. This is someone who's growing in their emotional awareness and is feeling quite grounded and sturdy in this. But in terms of truth and integrity, is leaving something to be wanted, all right? But this is also someone who feels like an injustice has been done to them, whether by this particular feminine or another, I cannot say. But, you know, there seems to be a lot more conflict here, okay? So a call to definitely honor yourself and really start to take time to detach from this and these feelings and connect to spirit, all right? Connect to the messages that are being called to you. And I do think messages are coming across with that hawk being the overarching energy, and messages that maybe you don't want to hear, and are going against your intuitive knowing, you know. And that may even be in the form of watching a bunch of tarot readings, trying to get the answer that you want, and struggling to move forward on a new journey, on a new path, which appears to be the case for both of you. But definitely with the feminine here, because you are detached from your intuitive knowing, right? Your own goddess energy showing up far more in your masculine than you are in your feminine here. And I apologize, you know, to seem so harsh, but I do think this message needs to come across this harshly, because the feminine really is detached and struggling with the burden of this, and I think knows a truth, right? Knows the way forward, but is still looking back. And hanging on to whatever this was or this is, where I'm telling you right now, the masculine will be moving forward. He may be stagnant right now, and if this is a sexual relationship that is taking place, is perfectly fine in that space. But in terms of moving forward emotionally, I'm not not necessarily moving forward emotionally. It's more in truth of what they're willing to really show up and give. I get a lot of friendship, situationship energy here. Let me, I'm gonna pull, just because I'm even a little unclear about what's going on here, and that could be an energy if this is relationship. I just want to pull a few cards. Powerful. Interesting. 8 of Cups met by the Queen of Wands here. So some divine partnership, yes, right? A soul mate or a soul bond of sorts, a very passionate relationship. And that makes a lot of sense here because, I mean, passion is definitely coming across. But with the 8 of Cups, I get that this masculine is going to move forward and move forward on their own journey. Because what this masculine is seeking is an equal partnership. And as of this very moment, you two are not necessarily resonating on the same frequency. I'm sorry, pal. 4, but 6 of Cups, yeah. Soulmates in reverse. I'm sorry, pile 4. I know this is a bit harsh. It's been a rough message today for pile 4. But, my dear, this is time to let go. To let go of, because you know, 6 of Cups, that's a soulmate relationship, you know, and while it may look like it based in passion that you guys are made to be together and you are all these things, I think the truth of that is that it's not, you know. It's not something that's showing up or is balanced, is an equal exchange, and that eventually this person is going to move forward alone. So if you've been wondering on if you should walk away and move forward, my encouragement to you would be to consider that path for yourself, all right? I'm going to give some messages. We'll see what shows up for both the masculine and the feminine energies on the White Rose guidance cards. These are things left unsaid by both the masculine and feminine. We'll see how those line up here. I've never cared so deeply for someone before on the feminine side, and yet there is a significant lack of love showing up here, and I really do get a feeling of a lack of self-love. Right? You can't love someone else so deeply when you have a lack of love for yourself. And there does feel like a bit of a void on this feminine side, right? Whoop. See what popped in. Our love can power galaxies. You are my star that outshines all others. This feminine has put this masculine on a pedestal. The question is, does the masculine deserve to be there? You are my destiny. So again, there's a very obsessive energy coming across from the feminine to the masculine side of some sort of undoubted loyalty. Woo! These are messages from the masculine. I am electrified by you. I worship your perfection. And that is very clear in the sexual attraction between these two. You may be if you're showing up as this Queen of Wands, a very physically attractive person, a very sexually attractive person. And I do think that sex is the underlying tone of this relationship. I miss you more than you know. So they are missing you as well, if you've been wondering. You know, like as I said, I do get a very clear sense of separation between the two. Ooh. How can I ever pay you back? Because you gave them growth. You gave them growth and you taught them lessons. And I'm sure they understand what they took from you in terms of getting what they wanted and walking away. There is caring here. There is emotion, but not the sort of emotion that powers a lasting relationship. Your words keep ringing in my head. So, feminine, I encourage you to take a very deep look at what you're giving versus what you're receiving in this particular situation, the situationship, because, you know, sexual chemistry doesn't always necessarily mean emotional compatibility and long-term stability. And, you know, tapping into your own divine energy, re-tapping into the artist, that creative power. Oof, come here. Sorry. That creative power, that mystic that's in you, revels in intimate union with the divine, versus what's showing up here very clearly, delusional rapport with the divine. You're telling yourself a story and going against what it is you know, and Spirit has been trying to confirm and tell you the things that you deep down know in your heart. And this may be the message for you to really bring that all together. So now let's give you a little guidance moving forward, yeah? Let's give first some oracle cards and then some twin flame activation cards for a bit of a rough message. Secrets, things illuminated, and I do believe that's exactly what's happening right now. Illuminating truth. Move. It's time to move forward. It's time to get fired up. There's that Leo energy. I said that at the beginning. It was Leo, Lions, and there's the confirmation for that. It's time to get fired up and move forward, okay? And let some of the ego at play here die. All right, because this is a sign for ego as well. Ooh, that just flew off there. The wheel, and the wheel turns. So, oh, the sun. Leo, again, double energy, double Leo, Lions on both sides, and all that fire for both of you. And I mean, I do get a sense of a bit of ego for both of you. All right. But Leo, the lion, the sun, all of that confirmations, the illuminated truth here. And the illuminated truth is it's time to move forward for yourself. It's time to give that loyalty that you give so well to others to yourself. And know that, you know, both sides play into this, you know. We can't be mad at each other for injustices done when we continuously allow them to happen, right? So let me get some twin flame activation cards for you, some guidance, and some self-love cards. High Priestess, expanding consciousness, 10-10. Beautiful card. That divine is asking you to tap into what you know, one with self, blossoming, to focus all that beautiful energy and all that beautiful love that you're willing to give, and give it to yourself. Put yourself on that pedestal, right? There's no one deserves to be placed above us, all right? I don't care who they are, because automatically then you're dooming a relationship that that just can't be, when you're not going to be on the same frequency. Spiritual awakening, shift or be shifted. Shift or be shifted. So if this continues on the way it is, expect a tower moment, my love. Expect a tower moment, because if you're going to continue to show up in the same thing, the same pain, Spirit's going to move it for you. If you don't want to listen, Spirit will move you along. Voyager's journey, past life healing. It's time to connect to the divine and understand that they've been communicating with you this whole time. Remember who you are. You can do this. You can take off this mask and move forward. All right, let's end this, wrap it up with a little self-love. A little self-love. First for the feminine. Whoop. I speak and think positively. My current thinking shapes my future. If I hear myself using negative or limiting words, I change them. I love that. And especially for oneself, right? Like I said, put yourself on the pedestal, my love, not another being. And for the masculine, whoop. I listen with love to my body's messages. I take a nice deep breath and release all resistance to healing. Yeah, shift or be shifted. Learn from this or repeat. And if you don't learn, Spirit is going to kick you in the butt anyway. So we do it the hard way, or we listen to our intuition and we do it a slightly less painful way. All right, pile 4. I hope this is helpful. Bye-bye.